Okay, so this is another one of these streams about a country. In this case, we're moving again forward in alphabetical order to Albania. Hmm. I've not played the map yet. Um, and so I guess we can start. Okay, and so we will use the 3 minute time per round, moving, panning, and zooming allowed. Okay, and so in our first game we have. Okay, so this is I guess, like very typically Albanian uh, area. That it's most of the country is very mountainous, except for a strip along the coastline. Um, and let's see. So looking at it, I can see we have. It looks like some kind of sedimentary rock. Um, that much of southern Europe, that mountains are not volcanic in origin. They're the result of the huge continent that ran into the southern side of Europe, some tens of millions of years ago. And of course, in the area, there's still compression and subduction going on. At the south end of the continent, there actually is volcanism. Um, for instance, at Santorini, but not this far north in the Balkans. Um, so yeah, and these mountains are very very steep. Like there has to be continuing uplift to do this. Um, because otherwise, they'll slowly erode and fall down. Um, and so as a general rule, if you think it's Europe and you find very steep terrain that you're usually in the south, although you can find it that's glacially carved out, for instance, in Norway, but that has a very different look to it. Um, so no sign of anything, like no in fact, if we had this and didn't know it was Albania, that I'd be trying to figure out, is this Croatia, is this Montenegro? It looks like we're stuck in a quite long gorge here. Um, let's see. There's a sign. 20. Okay. Um, so they are slow mountains. Um, but yeah, there was no place else to put this road. I guess right. And I failed to make a guess at this round. Okay, which that's important. But this of course is more of an educational stream. This is not a competitive mode. So please, no wagering. Um, well, yeah, I guess maybe, like on the Twitch channel, you can in fact bet things for. There's that whole thing where like you can have people bet channel points and then they ban you in some countries because of unusually strict gambling laws. Um, we have ER oil. Okay, so this one we have much more of a chance of getting a location. Um, we have Shitet Poseidera. No, we have Mobilieri Turke. Okay, so we're on. It's a four-lane divided road. There can't be very many of those in Albania, right? Uh, so preliminarily, I'll just stick it in Tirana for now. Um, Um, we have Tachi oil. Okay, here the C with the Sedilla is a character found in Albania, and it's not very distinctive. Um, the most distinctive things in Albanian, first of all, is that the E with two dots over it, I, hesitate to call it an umlaut because it's, there's technical reasons for that. The E with the two dots over it is only common in Albanian, although it can exist at low frequency in French or in Afrikaans. Um, we have Fabrika a Dishekive. This might be a location, right? Dishekive. Um, yep. We have, okay, still, yeah, so we're running low on time. Let's see. So we have that this road leads in sort of a north-south-ish direction. Maybe it's this one. But not a lot of signs. And again, like they're XH. That's very characteristic of Albanian. Right? That Albanian has some unusual combinations with H. XH is pronounced J. Um, they also have DH, Jihani there. Um, okay, was there? Oh, also double R at the beginning of a word, rugore. If R is doubled, it tells you to. Yeah, there's another one, auto roshi. um, okay, so it was not in Tirana. It was here south of Durish, in Cavalle. Okay, so that location then on the that word on the billboard did not tell us anything. Um, okay, and we remember. Okay, so SH4. Um, yeah, so this was a two-sided highway, right? Okay, so we have three lanes here. Um, Yeah, this configuration always makes me think of the road north out of Quebec City, which I think is a four-lane divided highway now. Okay, we have Girocastor. That is one of the larger towns in Albania. Um, this being Albania, I think Girocastor has like 40,000 people or something like that. Um, I think it's in yeah. There's Girocastor. Um, by the way, yeah, and we have SH. Well, we're still okay. SH4 again. Um, okay, so that's not SH4. This is SH4, right? Um, and then let's see. So we are um going. Wait, which direction is that? That's so we're going um into. We have. Oh, it's up here. Because there's Tepelene. Um, so then if we can find the turnoff for Malas, that's, wait, is this, yeah, this is, maybe it's this location, right? That we're on the edge of Tepelene. Um, sorry, Tepelena, I think is the pronunciation for that, right? The E without the two dots is A, the E with the two dots is the sound that in English is called a schwa. Um, yeah, we can look at this road on the other side. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so this is Tefier and Tirana, and you'll see it with an A too. Um, the endings, it turns out, depend on whether the noun is definite or indefinite. So Tirana means the Tirana, which I mean is seems a bit odd because there is only one of them, but Although you usually it's exceptional for that to be used in a place name. Um, you know, mostly you see I mean in Arabic you see al a lot with place names, but um, not in most languages. Okay, so there we're between Teplene and Levan. Okay, so we were up here then. So we were actually next to Malas. We were on the border between Girocastor and Fier provinces. Okay. So then 4 out of 5 we have. Okay. We have to be near the coastline because it's not cold. It's cold enough in the interior that we wouldn't see these, right? Um, so this I'm guessing is from the size and everything. I'm thinking this is Duresh. Um, Possibly on the SH4. Because remember we have bet on the SH4 in multiple rounds. Um, we have a Serbian truck. Um, we have Alm Telecom. Oh, we are at the edge of mountains, which um, let's see, those are to the north. Um, Wait, it looks like maybe we have mountains even in this direction. Oh, there's one of those blue signs. Okay, airport 500 meters. Yeah, I find that airports are often not very prominent on these things on the maps. Let's see. So maybe the airport is not that close to the city center. There's the ferry landing for Italy there. Um, let's see. We also know that we're kind of going north into Doris, right? That we have um, beach of Doris. Um, let's see. Yeah, that could it be down here? Um, okay, so it was actually not in Durres. It was in Tirana. Okay, so okay. Yeah, we've got the bollards here. Um, okay, so yeah, there's a lot of different ones. It looks like mostly there's the white with the red top, but there's this one here, and there's you know, uh, this one right here that looks sort of like a very small, yeah, like a smaller version of the French bollard. Okay, but it does look like this one predominates. Um, Not that distinctive looking. Okay, chevrons are black and white. We have bar, restaurant, hotel, yet resort. Okay. Saldima me electrode. Okay. Yeah. Now, information that I've seen, when you look up the language on Wikipedia or things like that, they say that a lot of words are Latin or from Romance languages, which is kind of a surprise to someone looking at the actual language. So here we have a street sign, Ruga Sali Fezullah, Peshtani Vogel, their Fezullah, a Muslim name. Um, uh, Koshovica. Hmm. Yeah, that sounds like a Slavic name if that is in fact where we are. Um, there, so that okay, we have uh Sakran. Um, okay. Albanian phone numbers are all 8 digits long. This is a 34 indicating 34 is actually one of the larger towns, and here we have Fier, which we saw before. Um, so um, there's so Fier is it was above Girocastra, right? Um, Fier County is there. Um, okay, so Fier County is not named after its capital, possibly. No, there's Fier. Um, Okay, and it was near Fiera. And I have this set to 3 minutes, so that the video keeps moving, right? Um, there's that Iet resort that we saw. Okay, so I get a bronze medal for Albania. Okay. Um, yep. So there's 3 rounds in these things. Um, looks like a castle. Not an old one, of course, but something architect. We have uh, we have lots of foreign flags. Um, let's see. Looks like that may actually be a residence or something. Like um, let's see. That may yeah. I don't see the anything useful in the phone number there. We have Chinder and Kala Castle. Kala is also looks Arabic. UAN. See. um, well, we'll follow the sign to the center, right? We have Mobiliary Ajax. This Shitet, it appeared in the graffiti before, right? Um, Alpet. Um, yeah, we have lots of communist construction here, 5 stories. Not the same building as the Soviet Union, but similar looking. Um, Tregu pe, pe, pergistem shem berat. Um, okay, so this is, not a small town. So it's, it has to be one of the, one of the top few towns in the country, judging from the size. But which one is it? Um, well, I guess the first question is which one has a castle? Given that thing about you know, oh, yep, yeah, and it's good to guess. And so it was Berat. Okay, so that was on one of the signs, but I didn't recognize it as the name of a town. Um, and so we must have been on SH-72, walked in, didn't reach the town center in time. Okay. Um, okay, so okay, there's an Orthodox church. Um, most Christian Albanians, I think, are Orthodox, although some are Catholic. Um, there's the most famous Albanian, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, of course, was Catholic. Although she was actually, I think, from North Macedonia, not from Albania, but was ethnically Albanian. So that's Market Dima. Oh, DH, as I mentioned, like uncommon digraph in Albanian. DH is pronounced the, TH is pronounced th. So, they differentiate them in writing, unlike in English. We have Viet Garanci. Um, Raido. We have a Castrati station. Well, like that's kind of an odd name for that. Okay, Antigone. We have on that sign. Uh, we have Castle of Saint something, Church of Saint Gall, Church of Saint Georgi. Okay, so we have a town with several historic churches. Wait, was there a phone number on that sign? Uh, wait, here we have Linia Girocaster Tirana. So that means that we have to be between them, right? So again, there's Girocaster. So I'll just put it down in Berat, which is let's see. I've seen Elbasan before. It's in a tightly confined valley. So I think this is not Elbasan. Yeah, I don't know the phone numbers other than that they all have 8 digits, and the only one-digit code is Tirana, which is 4. And Durrës is 52. Um, Not that I'll, remember those for very long, but yeah. So we have Ruga Valare there. Um, yeah. So we were in fact, in Girocaster. Okay, third round. Um, let's see, urban area. Maybe Tirana. We have the airport in Nene Teresa. We have Shkodër and Durrës. Okay, those are in opposite directions from Tirana. So I'm thinking, um, again, that we do have to be in the heavily populated central part of the country. Um, let's see. Ruga Meda Stila. Oh yeah, also there's a distinction between L and double L, which um it was L I think was L and double L is ol. So one of them is the double L is velarized. Um, but not that much difference in pronunciation. So we have, yeah, so I think this is Tirana, just, like no place else should have a city this large, right? So where would we? Yeah, I've noticed, there's some interesting architecture in Albania. You know, uh, Also, Tirana is, by European standards, a new city. Um, that during the era of Enver Hoxha, who ruled the country from 1945 to I think 1984, um, that there was kind of an attempt to cut almost Woodrow Wilson, okay, um, hmm, okay, so we have seven-digit phone numbers which are characteristic of Tirana, and there's the country's Cinnabon. Um, um, okay, so I didn't really get to the point where I could come up with something, but yeah, it was on this ring road, uh, Ruga Suleiman Delvina. Um, oh, Sheshi Wilson. Yes, so that would be the roundabout with Woodrow Wilson in it. And also on this side, it's a different name, Ruga Abdul Frasheri. Uh, Yeah, I don't know what the contrast is between I and Y. I know it has to mean something because Albanian was one of the last significant European languages to be standardized. The present day alphabet and spelling conventions actually were came from a conference in 1908. Before that, Albanian was written down um, by people mostly that knew other languages, trying to use the symbols to represent Albanian, and mostly in the Roman alphabet, although apparently there was at one time such a thing as Greek alphabet Albanian. Um, but in the standardization process, they chose a Roman alphabet system. Is that young corn? It looks like. Um, okay. Small town maybe. We have wait, that's eight. That's nine digits, which I think is not supposed to be possible. Um, there's one of those ER oil stations again. So okay, so we have. So as I said, I think in the interior you would not find these. Um, so we are probably close to the coast. Um, Although, as I remember, that particular species is an unusually cold tolerant, palm looking thing, that you see in European settings. Um, okay, that makes more sense. Maybe it's the cell. It's a cell 69 and seven digits. Perhaps that's that there's a cell phone space with. Yeah, there's another one with 67 and 7 digits. Okay, so perhaps my information is not the best on phone numbers, but it appears that they can have 9 digits. Um, and all the ones that we've seen with 9 digits start with, okay, leaving Elbasan. So, Elbasan actually is not that close to the coast. It's here. As I said, it's confined to a tight valley. Okay, so we're leaving Elbasan in the um, westbound direction, right? So we're somewhere around here, probably on this SH3. It's a big road. Let's see. So if we return to start, we have the Bridgestone tire. Oh, also on the map here, there's that XHN Jamia Vidas. So Jamia is, looks like the Arabic, right? Um, I'm not sure exactly what the. Oh, yeah, and I got messed up which side of town we were on. Which, yeah, I should have thought of that. Um, yeah, and I know that in Arabic there's I've seen both masjid and jum'ah for a mosque. I don't know what the difference is. Um, okay, we have again the DH, the GJ, the Q without a U. I'd forgotten that one also as a marker of Albanian. Um, is that most languages that have Q require a U afterward, and in a lot of languages Q is very rare. But Q is actually common in Albanian. It is pronounced Kye. Um, we have Hassan Latifi. Yeah, there again. It's six. It's wait, is that? Yeah, that's 9 digits again, starting with 66. Um, and so all the 9 digit ones appear to start with six. Um, these perhaps being, yeah, that they're 6, 8, and 7 digits. So I'm wondering if perhaps six is the mobile phone code. Um, we have Bira Peya. That Peya is it's called pitch in Kosovo. Pitch is the Serbian name for the town, and it's called Peja in Albanian. Um, of course, this being an Albanian map, we know we are not in Kosovo. Um, and we have, yeah, they like the castle walls. That. Okay, so this we have a beautiful rural valley with a river in it that appears to be a bit short on water today. Um, this is tending toward a Mediterranean dry climate. So there is a lot of seasonal variation in the amount of precipitation in Albania. And following the Mediterranean pattern, it's low in the summer. Those were black and white chevrons again. That's useful to remember for country identification. Okay. Um, so we can move then to the third round and the final one. Still did not achieve a silver. Photocopia. Oh yeah, another thing. Photocopies for sale is an indication that you're in a less developed country. Um, that we have Autoscola. Yeah, there's six, uh, 9 digits, right? In fact, it appears that the uh, the 6 plus 8 digits pattern may actually be, yeah, there's the currency unit, the lek. Um, okay, I'm not sure of the size of a lek, but, looking at the prices in the window, that it's not particularly small and not particularly large. And size of currency unit is another thing that you can use for identifying countries, remember? Um, yeah, this again, it looks likely to be Tirana. There's, Tirana Bank, which doesn't really tell you anything. Service Celulares, Veneto Banca. Yeah, this, it has to be Tirana. If it's not, it's probably Duresh. Uh, I'm not pronouncing that right. Dures. I, for some reason, keep thinking that it has that sh sound on the end. Um, and as that we have these streets, called Ruga with two R's. Um, so that in Spanish, for instance, has the rolled R phoneme, but it doesn't have double R at the beginning because it has only the rolled R at the beginning and not just a tap. So it's not necessary for them to double R's except if it's located between two vowels. It turns out in Spanish. Um, Okay, so I think this is likely Tirana, probably not close to the center because, we saw that we saw what the center looks like earlier, although, this could be fairly central. Um, Not a lot of uh, obvious locations of, okay, so I was actually wrong. It was Fier again, okay? Um, Okay, so yeah, this is being an American, I often will tend to overestimate the size of urban areas in Europe, from appearance, um, because here they're much more spread out, that there aren't as many tall buildings, whereas that in Albania urban areas are much more concentrated, partially cultural preference and partially because it's a less developed country. Okay, we have big striations, of some sort of. Uh, yeah, this actually looks more like granite, like it's a rock that formed from lava at some point. Um, Also, that the strata in that rock were not horizontal, and so it's been folded. The terrain's been considerably folded. So the black chevrons again. Um, yeah, so this looks almost like maybe there was some layer of cap rock that had differential erosion, and there's an edge right there. Um, Reminds me a bit of the 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 western side of the Lackawanna Valley in Pennsylvania, where Scranton and Wilkes-Barre are, has the same kind of shape. Um, that there it was again, compression of the East Coast when it collided with Gondwana land, in the formation of Pangea, squashed the terrain together, and that there was kind of a fault there. And we have the black chevrons, and let's see. So this valley, it's oriented kind of north to south. Um, yep. Field system is rationalized, like communist agriculture. Um, so we have rectangular fields, not that big. Like this isn't the United States or Russia. Um, so the fields are not that big in individual size. Tire chains, okay, indicating that someone is entering a highland area. Um, and of course, most Albanians are not going to have snow tires on their cars because they don't personally live in an area that gets significant snowfalls, or if they do, they melt in a day. Okay, so it looks like I am not going to get this one. And it was down at the south end. So this clearly was the valley with this um, river in it. Uh, let's see, does that have a name? Lumidrino. Um, let's see, Drino. I would guess that is the river name. Drinos, yeah. Um, yeah, and so we were going down, yeah, and so we were going into this village Jorgutsat. Uh, so again, this is Girocastor County. Um, yeah, there's been some interesting geology in here. You can see the marks used to looks like this was cut and not blasted. Maybe. Um, yeah, but this definitely is more, like artisanal road building, like has a very less developed country look, especially, when you have a road like this that has utility poles on it. Um, is it Bhutan? I think it's Bhutan. Right. Okay, we saw terrain like this before earlier, right? Um, that where was it? It was notice that in all our rounds we've never been up here. We also haven't gotten Shkoder. Yeah, it might be interesting at the end to look at what's covered. Um, up, yeah, so it's high up in the mountains up here perhaps. Um, okay, that's a cement mixer. No obvious markings on the origin, which often those sorts of things, you have some local contractor that's working on the road. Bridges occasionally have markings on them, although this one No. Um, is it Bhutan? Okay. Ah, so now we did get a northern location. So this was that's interesting that it's a road that's actually marked with the yellow on Google Maps. Perhaps their information about its size is not the best, although it may also be a route of significance. Well, it's SH20, um, so it has that designation. Uh, it looks like okay. So this is the road. It goes from Shkodër up, through the mountains, into Macedonia, and then it forks here into the E65. Um, and then we have stop. Okay, so no Albanian stop sign. We have Progri and Maturisht. Okay, useful to take a quick look. Yeah, nothing obvious. Uh, let's see. So uh, we have some quite large uh, mountains in this area. Oh, this thing is very characteristic of Albania. There were a bunch of these concrete bomb shelter things that were built during the era of Enver Hoxha, um, 1960s, I think, possibly. Um, so if you see this thing, you are in Albania, and that most of them are disintegrating. That there's people ended up not using them for anything. Um, Also, here we can see like some of the rural architecture. We have the orange tile roofs, white or light colored um, paint jobs. It looks like, but that it doesn't really look that distinctive from other Balkan countries, right? I mean, those houses could be in Romania equally as easily. Um, we have yeah, that's 8 digits starting with three. Like nothing obvious about the division into local and area. Okay, so in this case, then it was down there. Okay, and so here we have the last round of the stream for the evening. Um, we have 69 again, one of those cell phone numbers that I don't think is geographical. 69. Yeah, so I think the problem with using phone numbers in Albania is that I think it looks like maybe that everything is switched into a mobile number space, and so not that useful. We have New Jersey with a picture of Manhattan. Um, well, they don't know. Um, Although I suppose that might have been a picture of Manhattan taken by someone standing in New Jersey. So yeah, we have exchange bureaus that of course there's no they don't use the euro in Albania, so there still are exchange bureaus. Although okay, we have Universiteti Aldent. Okay. Um, so this is I am guessing that this is Tirana again. Tirana contains, I think, about 1/4 of the population of Albania. It has, I think, 700,000 or 800,000 people, um, and it's much larger than it was, at the end of the communist period. I think in 1989, Tirana only had about 250,000 people. It was a very rural country that has urbanized in much more recent times than most European countries have. Okay, so we have Ruga Edipres, um, Ruga Edipres. Um, yeah, the bus signs are not very readable. We have the rat. Um, oh, yeah, I should have actually guessed. Well, anyway, yeah, it was Tirana. Um, okay. I really should have made a guess because um, as you can see, that Aruga Edipres thing that I saw was actually a major road. Oh, here there's a great one. Boulevardi Zogu, whatever the first is in Albanian. That there are some wonderfully named historical figures in Albania, and one of them is King Zog. you know, that Zog was, I think, the first king of Albania after it separated from the Ottoman Empire in 1912, uh, basically because of Albania first came into existence because of Italian um, intervention in wars between the Balkan countries and the Ottoman Empire. In the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, um, and that for whatever reasons they didn't think that Albania should be part of Italy, but that it should be a state, that was sort of set up by Italy. And the other wonderfully named Albanian historical figure is that in the 1990s Albania had a president named Fatos Nano. Um, but yeah, so we have here a boulevard named after Zog. Um, okay. Yeah, and also, yeah, I should have remembered also that the city center in Tirana is, quite compact. And so you can look through it without too much difficulty. All right. Um 1,598 points. Did I just not guess on multiple rounds? No, just, it's a small map. It's easy to get seriously off. Okay. Um, so I guess that's it for the stream. There was something that I wanted to look up. Oh yeah, I wanted to look on Google Maps for the um. Okay, I don't know if this displays or not. I have it on window capture, so I think it captures whatever is actually in the window, even if I switch tabs. I'll have to look at the stream afterward to see if this actually worked. Um, okay, so what I wanted to look at was the coverage area. So, yeah, so it's just a few major roads. Um, that's not unusual in Google coverage. It and I dropped the guy um, someplace in Greece. Okay. Um, and then, of course, there's higher amounts of coverage in urban areas. So in terms of the amount of coverage, it's not the United States. You don't have massive amounts of rural roads that you seem to end up on every time. Um, and that yeah that high levels of rural coverage are often just in the most developed sorts of countries. You know uh, the the USA being the prime example. Um, and so I guess we're done for now. And then I'll be putting more countries up soon.